Hello everyone. So in this video I wanted to go over the Rustic Winter digital collection. I have it printed out, so I thought I would show all of you how it looked printed out and how I printed it out, so when we go to create our signatures for our journal, which we'll get started on after I show the collection, you'll get an idea of how I did it, and then also explain some of the things that I will be doing as far as when I get to some of the ephemera and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and start with showing you the journal papers that come in the kit. Okay, so these journal pages. I did not print every single design, but I think I printed most of the themed journal pages and the floral themed pages, and then I have some of the backgrounds printed on the back. I did send out quite a few updates. Now, if you downloaded everything before you received the update, make sure that you just wipe out that folder that you first downloaded of the collection and just re-download it, because I updated a lot. So in the collection you'll see all these different folders, and one of them is the floral themed journal pages, and that is what this one is from. And then there's one with backgrounds, ephemera, the card kits, and then the main theme journal pages, I think. But there's quite a few designs to this collection. It's a large collection. Okay, so there's this one, and then this is one of the background pages that I printed on the back. And I think these are all from the floral themed journal pages folder. And this is from the backgrounds. So I really tried to make sure everything coordinated, you know, really nice in the kit as far as the background papers, making sure you had some theme pages, some florals, and so forth. This one, I used the blue stained background on this one, so it's a little different than this one. And I thought that I really liked this design, so I printed 2 of these just in case, because I might want to create a pocket or something with it, and so there's a few that I printed 2 of. So this is one of the pages that you definitely want to upload the updated version, because I completely accidentally cut off this whole front section of the truck, so it's got no front section. This part right here is really kind of messed up and sloppy. I had a layer that was showing that should not have been showing going over this, and it just created kind of a mess. And so make sure that on this one you do upload the updated version. And same with, oh, let's see, and on the back I did the sweater knit background. So there's that one. These are the themed journal pages that I'm showing right now. I loved this one. I love the snowman. This is another one where you want to make sure that you have the updated version, because part of his hat is missing in the previous one. These are just some things that I didn't catch until I printed it out. And then this one I left blank on the back. I did want some with white, because when I go to add in flaps and everything, I like a lot of contrast there, and I like room for journaling. So I did leave some with white on the backs. And I printed out 2 of this one. This one I put the distressed wood on the back. But again, I thought he might be a fun one to kind of create a belly band or something fun, some sort of neat pocket with, so I printed 2 of him, the snowman. And then we have the skater. And on the back I did the buffalo check. This was an updated file I added to the collection. I added quite a bit of background papers to the updated version. I think I added in like 6 or 7 new backgrounds, and I added in the tags, ephemera, journal cards, tickets. There's quite a bit that is in the updated version. So you want to make sure, I can't stress it enough, that if you ordered this before the update, delete that one and download the updated version to make sure you're getting everything in the collection. And if you have any questions at all about it, just shoot me an email. And I will be more than happy to make sure that you have that updated version. Okay, so I printed 2 of the skates, and again just left one with nothing on the back, and then one with one of the newer backgrounds that you'll find in the updated version. I loved this background. I really liked this one. And then we have another one from the floral themed journal pages. I'm going to have to cut that down a little bit more. So there's that one. And this was one of the newer backgrounds. It's kind of a pink tea-stained paper. And then I printed one of this page. And I might, because I'm doing a winter themed journal, I'll probably cover up the Christmas here. I don't want anything Christmassy in the journal. I want it to be a winter themed journal, because I'm sure by the time we finish, it's going to be so close to Christmas. I want it to be a journal that can be used, and it'd be perfect, really, because you could actually add in some of your Christmas photos, or if you like to go skiing or ice skating, whatever it might be, those are great photos to add in a winter themed journal. And then I printed 2 of these. I have this background on the back of one of them. And again, I thought this would just make, cut this out and do something just kind of really fun with this section here. So that's why I printed out 2, and this one has nothing on the back. And I did the distressed wood on that one. And then I just did a few just background papers, so the sweater knit with the lace, just a few of those in case I want to, again, do some pockets or create something, different, just making sure that I had a few extra papers to work with to do some fun stuff with. So those are the papers. Again, I didn't print out everything, but that was a large part of it. And now I'm going to show you some of the ephemera and envelopes and so forth. So I went ahead and I cut out some of the envelopes already, and they come with the tags, and then you'll see some ephemera with it. So I did 4 envelopes with a sentiment. And I printed out 2 of these, and then there's that one. So you'll get 4 different envelopes in the collection. And I did cut them out and assembled them. So there's the 4 that come in the kit, and then I printed out an extra one of these. And I think they should hold these tags. Where are they? These tickets. And then I'll just... Let's see here. Oh, that fits perfectly. So those, if you just cut a little off that edge, it fits perfectly in these envelopes. The tickets do. And I plan on backing this onto cardstock. But I printed a couple of each. So there's those. And then we have the snowman, deer, and ice skates. And I printed a couple of those. And then here's the journal cards. And I printed 2 copies for myself of those. So that is the ephemera and journal cards. And then I showed you the tickets that come as well. Oh, and then there's these trucks also that come in the kit. And I thought that these would be fun to create flaps with. I did a mirror image so we could attach a front and back and create a, you know, cute little flap of some sort. So that was my idea on these. And then we have the additional cards that I said I would do. I showed those in my previous video how to assemble those, but I said that I would do some variations of the houses. So these are the ones that you did not see that came in the updated version. And they have a little different windows and different wreaths. I tried to change it up a little bit. So I printed a few of those, and then this is the other one. And again, you'll have the different florals and different doors and windows. So you could create a set of these and, you know, create a cute little box to put them in and give them as a gift. These could be winter themed cards. You could even, you know, add some flowers. You could create the house and then do some summer florals on them if you wanted to make them more summer theme or spring or whatever. So there's a lot that you could do with these cards when you have them assembled. And then this one has this base that goes with it. So you'll have these 2 bases to work with for this set here. And then the other one goes, this one goes to this one. So those are the new bases. All right, so that is the Rustic Winter digital collection. You get the card set, you get everything for making journals, you could make beautiful scrapbook pages. There's a lot that you can do with this kit, and I'm excited that I actually get to sit and play with the kit. I actually get to have some fun crafting, and that's one of the things I love about the subscription box and having all of you subscribe monthly. It allows me more time to be able to do these videos and do actual projects with you, which I'm very excited about. Okay, so let's go ahead and start working on our winter themed travel journal. Hello everyone, so I am back to show you how we're going to make our travel notebook journal. And with me I have my good friend Judy.
Yay, hello.
She's cutting out her ice skate and she's going to be following along and making this with us. So to start off, I cut out the ice skate in your subscription box, or if you got the Rustic Winter digital download, in the covers folder you would see this ice skate, and I just fussy cut it out. And then there's other pieces that go with it, these flower sections. We're going to take some of our foam tape and we're going to give this kind of a 3D effect on the flower area there. And then what I thought I would do for the cover is, in your trim pack that you received in your subscription box, or if you didn't get a subscription box, if you can find any trims that you might want to use for this that you might have lying around, you could do something similar to what I'm doing. Now you can go to Joann's, Hobby Lobby. They have a lot of their Christmas trims. I think they're 70% off right now, and I think you could find something similar to this. Most of you in your subscription box, you got the snowflakes, which I wish I had enough because I really wanted to use the snowflakes on this, but a few of you got this design like what I'm using because I just didn't have enough of the snowflake trim to go around for all the boxes. So if you have a snowflake, just do the same thing with the snowflake, cut out some of those and use them like you'll see me using this gold flourish trim. And again, you know, you could use whatever trim you might have on hand. And what I thought I would do is I'm going to start with grabbing some fabric. Now I'm just going to use some muslin fabric. You could use white fabric. You could take a sheet. You go to the thrift store, pick up a white sheet and use that. Whatever fabric you can find, but if it's a solid color or a lighter solid color, I think that that would work best, and I thought we would create a patchwork of trim on the fabric. And so my thought is to just take all these different pieces of trim. Now I have some white lace, and then I have what came in the subscription box, this glittery trim, and then I'm going to use some blue trim and some pink trim, and I just have little scraps. So if you have lots of scraps of trim lying around, if you can find some in pink and blue, that would look really pretty. You know, something that would match the skate. You could do grays, even some green tones. Burgundy would work, look really pretty as well too. So you could just do a little variation like what you see me doing. And I thought I just again would create this little patchwork of trim, and I'm going to take some glue and just glue little pieces down, and then I thought I would sew around some of the pieces of trim to create this little patchwork design on my muslin fabric for the cover. So I'm just going to lay this out the way that I want it, and then after I have it the way I like it, I'm going to just dab on a little glue to hold it in place, and then just add some stitches. And this was the piece of trim that I cut that came in the trim pack. And so I just cut out a little bit of the flourish design and then cut off the wire edge here is all I did. And so if you have the snowflakes, you could just do maybe one snowflake here and one snowflake over here, and then add in your different laces and trims that you have lying around. And then see, our skate will go like so on our fabric.
I need tape.
Oops. And then maybe I'll put something like this up here. That might be kind of pretty. Do something like that. Alright, so I like that. I'm going to go ahead and just apply a little glue and then do my little
Did I give you the glue?
sewing to give a few little stitches, and then we will attach it to the journal cover that came in the subscription box. And again, if you didn't get the subscription box, I will go over with you how you can create this. So I have my two pieces, my front cover and my back cover. I have it all done, so I just took all of my scrap pieces of trim and stitched those onto some muslin, and this is what I ended up with. Okay, so before we attach our covers to these journal pieces here, we're going to assemble this, and what we're going to do is take both pieces and we're going to line this hole here with this hole here. So we have the widest spine that we can make with these two pieces. So we're just taking these holes here, the farthest edge to this farthest edge, and we're going to take and just glue that down. Okay, so after this is glued, the next thing we're going to do is string our elastic cord through for our signatures. And I used this elastic cord from Hobby Lobby, so you get quite a bit here. And I'm going to use this lighter pink color, and the first thing, and I cut it to 2 yards and 8 inches. And then the first thing we're going to do is I have the outer part showing here, and I'm going to take and we're going to insert our cord through that middle hole, and then flip your journal piece over and bring your cord down halfway. And then you're going to take and flip your journal piece back over, and you're going to take the other end of your elastic cord and you're going to bring it through this next hole. And then you'll flip it over and pull it all the way through. And you want to make sure that you have it fairly tight, but not so you're pulling too hard on your journal piece here. And then the next thing you're going to do is, with that longer end of your cord, you're going to take and bring this down to that hole on the other side. So you're going straight across. It should be like so. And again, you want to pull it kind of tight, but not too tight, so you end up bending your piece here. So this is how it should look. And then you're going to flip your journal piece back over. And now we are going to go over to this next hole. And then we're going to pull that through. Okay. And then you're going to run your cord through that, bring it down to that hole. So you're going straight across from the, and then you're going to flip it over. And now you're going to bring your cord through this hole again. And to get that to go through, you might want to use something pointy to get that to go through that hole. So you could use like an awl or
Little pointy scissors.
yeah. Or those long tacks would even work.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now you're going to have a double string, and you go back down through this hole again. Bless you.
Thank you. Where are you going?
Just straight down. So at this hole that you're at right now, you're just gonna go straight across
So you're having
down
a double
to this.
string?
Yep, down to this one again. So you'll have a double string. Twisted there. Twisted.
I know, I had a little twisty, got a little twisty going too.
Yeah, and twisted it. Okay, then the next thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna flip your journal piece over, and you're gonna go into this next hole over here. So it should match this side down here. It should have the same looking stitches. So it should look like that. And then you're going to flip it over. And this is where your middle piece is, where you tie it off, but you're going to take and move that out of the way, and you're going to go through that hole again. So bring that through that same hole there. Oops, got that a little too tight. All right, and then after you bring that down through there, you're going to flip your journal piece over, and you're going to go over into this next hole. So you're just going to continue doing the same thing. You go over and then down, and then over and then down. Then you're going to bring it down. To this hole. And then we're going to go over to the next hole. And you should see where that doesn't have anything, so that should look like this so far. And you're going to flip it over, and you're going to bring this down to this hole. And then you're going to go over, because if you go down, the next thing you have to do is go over, and then you go down, and then you go over. So we're gonna have a double string
Oh.
again on this side.
So they match.
So they match, yep. So I'm gonna go through this hole again, down here.
Alright, cool beans.
And then we have our last hole that we have to go over here.
I don't quite need this much string.
I think I pulled mine a little too tight again. Alright, and then I'm just going to, until I get my signatures all the way in, I'm going to cut this, and I'm not going to tie it yet in case I have to adjust something. I'm just going to leave it like so for now. I guess I could do a simple knot, but I'll just leave it kind of loose. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to apply glue for now on my spine, and I'm not going to glue anything over where I have the cord, so if I need to readjust it, I can from the inside. So I'm going to just skip around the cord and then apply glue everywhere else on the spine. Good. Okay, so I have my cover all attached to my journal piece here. We have everything threaded inside, and now we have to do the inside covers of our journal piece and the signatures. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the signatures. Now what I had to do to get this to fit inside is I cut off the white edges from my print. And now I'm going to cut this so it's at 7.5 inches in height. And looking at the design, I'm probably going to want to take from down here. So I'm just going to take all my pages and cut them down so that they're 7.5. It should be 7.5 inches in height. And then you're going to do this for all of your pages. Now I went ahead and I built my signatures, and I just used some tea stained paper that I had, and then you can see I have the paper designs that I printed out. So I did a design print, and then I inserted some of these. I got this tablet from the Dollar Tree. And if you can find these are wonderful to pick up a few because they work so well in journals. And I just took and I tore out 5 of these because I have 5 signatures. Okay, so all I did is I just cut off the spiral bound section there. And then I cut a little off from this edge, that white border there, because I didn't want it to stick out too far. And then I just simply folded it right at this, where those section lines are. Folded it right there. And then I wrapped it around my tea stained paper. And I cut off actually a little bit more from this side, just so it wouldn't stick out. So about 1/4 of an inch. There. And so I have this going around my tea stain paper, and then this just creates some journaling space. But like I said, you could just use lined tablet paper and do the same thing, and then just create a little fold so it wraps around your signature page. So I have my design print, and then I have some of that note paper. I have some tea stained paper, and then I have another design print, and that is one of my signatures right there. And I did 5 of these. After I cut all these down to the 7.5 inches in height, then I just did the same thing. Well, this one I have an extra one thrown in there. That should not be in there. And I have an extra one of these. So, I mean, you can do your signature pages whichever way you like. I could even go like this. And then, you know, we can create some neat flaps working off of this as well. So we're going to add in ephemera and other things to decorate it. But for this video and for this part of the project with the subscription box and everything, I'm just going to build the signature pages and then add in some tablets that I got from the Dollar Tree and keep it pretty simple. And then I'll give you some decorating ideas, and you can decorate it with the ephemera and everything to your liking. So here's another signature page that I did. This one I only did a design print, tea stained paper, and then another design print. But again, I wanted to be sure I had 5 signatures done. Tea stained paper, a design, another note paper, and did another design print there, and another thing of note paper there. And then this one, I have a design print, note paper, tea stain paper, a design paper, more note paper, tea stained paper, another design, and then I put in a tea stained paper doily. So again, you can just take some copy paper, do your tea staining, and there's videos. I'll put some links to the videos on how to do coffee staining paper. And that's what we did. We just go to the Dollar Tree and we pick up the instant coffee. It's $1.25. And then you can pick up the imitation vanilla for $1.25 as well. And my mom and I pour a little bit into it to just give it kind of a vanilla scent. It smells really yummy, the paper does. And so it's really easy to do the coffee staining papers. And we just did it on the cheapest copy paper that we could find. You could do envelopes, coffee stain some of your envelopes that, you know, after you get your mail, you know, keep some of these envelopes. You could coffee stain some of those. And I'll be decorating some of these with the windows to include in our journal. So after you have your signature pages all done, then you're just going to simply slide them through. Let's see, I want this one to be the last one. So you're just going to slide these through your cord like so. But you're probably going to want to decorate your inside covers first. So I'm going to have to figure out, you know, what paper I want to use for the inside section here. But I'm just going to show you really quick how this looks once you got everything put in here. Oops. Let's see, I don't want to do that one yet. I'll probably do this one next. And then this one has 2 strings to it, so you can put another signature through that double, where it's double stringed. But I'm going to skip one. I think I'm going to go to this center here. And we'll put that in the center. And I will eventually tie this into a knot. I'm just keeping it tied in a bow for now until I have all my signatures and everything in there, and then I can be sure that everything's adjusted and then tie the knot. And then I'll do this one, and I just want to go through one where it's double strung there. Oh, this one is supposed to go in the middle. So I'm going to take that one out. This should go in the middle with the doily. So I'm going to put that through like so. And then we have our last one. So you have 1, 2 signatures, 3, and again you just want to make sure you just have it going through one of the strands there, corded strands. You don't want to do, you have this spare one here that you want to leave empty, because I'm going to fill that up and I'll show you how. There's 4 signatures and then 5. So you can see it's starting to come together. We're getting a journal here. And then I went to the Dollar Tree and I picked up some of these. And I had to really search for these. So anything that you might be able to find, and you might have some small notepads that you could use. But I found like these guided journals there, and I thought these would work perfectly inside of here, so I'm going to throw this in. Yeah, we could put this right here. And this will provide lots of extra journaling space. And then I have this one, it said write your own story, which is perfect. The color even matched. Let's see, I have an extra there. So right here is an extra cord, so I can put that through like so. And then I found this one, and it even has those stars that match the skates, which was just by luck. And we could, like this one, I think I might put this one over here. And do it like that. And then see, this is really loose. I'll have to tighten this up. It's way too loose. I'll just throw it right here for now. And then we have the yearly planner, which I'm just going to put inside of here. Anyway, you can see when you have these tablets, you can insert those. And then we still have our ephemera and journal cards to decorate it with. But that'll give you an idea of how you can easily put together a travel journal notebook. Isn't it cool? And then you can even do, like, I even have this one too. Put this right in the middle. Nice and full now. So again, you can run to the Dollar Tree and grab some little notebooks or little planners if you can find them. You might already have some little notebooks that you could use in your stash. You could use planner stuff, whatever you might want to throw in there. You know, that's pretty much going to be left up to you what you want to put inside, but that's what I did. All right, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my ice skate that I'm gonna use for the cover. I'm gonna apply a coat of Mod Podge over it to help protect it, and then we can go ahead and start decorating our cover and work on these inside and back covers right here. And then I'll probably go through and sort this the way that I want it, and then we can decorate it with some ephemera and journal cards, and we will be done. For the inside covers, I just printed out 2 of these background papers, and I had to turn them so the stars will be going sideways, but I didn't think that would matter. I thought it still looked good, and so I cut it down to 8 3/4 by 6 1/4, and that seemed to fit perfectly for the inside there. And then I'm just going to adhere it with some adhesive tape, and then I will work on the front of the cover. Okay, so we have our inside covers all done now. I did on the inside back section there, I did tear the page when I was using the tape gun, so I'm going to probably create a pocket, or I might cover it with one of the tablets. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take the skate and work on the front cover here. And I thought that I would use some of this lace tulle. I got this from Hobby Lobby, and it's really pretty. And I thought I would take the skate and glue it down onto a piece of this lace tulle, and then I would cut going around the shape of the skate. And here you can see I'm just using my white glue to glue this down onto the lace tulle here. And then after it dries, you'll see where I go and I cut around the shape of the skate. I do like to leave a little bit of the lace tulle showing, but when you back it against all the lace on the cover, you can't really see it all that much. I just thought by having this backed against the lace tulle, it would help it blend better with our lace cover. And you know, you could use whatever lace you might have on hand. You know, I would recommend a thinner lace if you don't use this lace tulle that I'm using from Hobby Lobby. You could even use a thinner fabric. So there's a lot of different ways that you could do your cover, and just use, you know, the trims and fabrics that you might have on hand. But I did get a lot of the laces from Hobby Lobby, and then I did use a lot, I think it's from my last lace kit, so I think I still have a few of those available. So if you're wanting to use a lot of the laces that you see me using, I believe a lot of them came from my last lace kit. And I'll have the link for that down below if I do have any left over in stock. So now that I have the lace tulle adhered to my skate, I'm going to glue the whole piece down onto my lace cover. And I really want to press it down good, making sure I have all those edges glued down. Then I'm going to take this marker and just go around some of the edges, getting rid of you know, some of those white areas that you can see on the edge and where I cut. And then I did go up and shade around one of the skates just to add a little more definition there from the other skate. And again, you don't have to do this step. You could skip it. I just like to add in those little extra details, and so, you know, you could just take a marker and go around your edges and call it good. Okay, now we have our pieces here that go to the poinsettia. And again, I'm going to take my Bria Reese marker here and add in some lines on the poinsettia. And then I'm going to take my water brush, add a little water, and just kind of create this watercolor effect over my printed poinsettia piece. And again, you do not have to do this. This is just something that I like to do just to give it more of a, I don't know, kind of make it look like it was watercolored and add in a little more detail, define some of those areas a little more. And so again, you don't have to do this, but if you do want to give it a try, I just thought that I would show what I did. And I'm just really loosely going around each petal and around some of those lines with the water. And I did it pretty quickly. Now I'm taking my white pen and just bringing back some of that detail around some of those shadowed lines that I created. And you see me do this a lot with mixed media projects that I do. It's just kind of my own little style here of how I do this, and I love using my white pen. And then I go back with the black pen and just bring back a little more detail, but I just think it creates a real neat effect on some printed designs. Now, again, I printed mine on laser, so if you did yours on inkjet, you might not be able to get your print wet, so that's one thing to keep in mind. You'd want to use markers that are not water soluble and that would not interact with the ink from your inkjet. And again, you could just totally skip this entire section. I'm just showing you what I did, so if you did want to create the same effect, you know, you could just kind of get an idea of what I did. You could also, if you don't have a laser jet, you could take and have Staples print up a few of the copies. I like going to Staples. Every time I go to Staples, they do an amazing job. The people who work there, they just, at least everybody that I've interacted with, they just know what they're doing. They're great to work with, and the prints always come out really nice, and they're fairly reasonable. So I like to go to Staples, but you could go to other places to have a few prints made up that are done in laser, so you know, if you wanted to do what I'm doing here, you could do that as well. And now I'm just taking my black pen and going over some of those lines, again, just to create a little more dimension and detail, because you'll see what I do next is I add in a little lace embellishments. So I really want some of these lines to show through just to define some of the petals a little bit more. I really love to draw, so I just feel like it gives it more of a, you know, hand-drawn, hand-painted look. And I love, you know, I just like the look of it. I really like the white pen and just kind of adding in some of those highlights. Another thing that you could do is before you attach your poinsettia pieces to your cover is you could take some white acrylic paint, water it down, and just use a paintbrush and flick some white speckles onto your poinsettia pieces just to give it kind of a snowy effect. So that's something else that you could do. Now I'm taking and applying that trim piece that came attached to your bead pack in your subscription box. And then I'm going to attach the next piece of our poinsettia over that. And I'm just going to use some white glue to attach that. Then for our next poinsettia piece, I'm going to use some foam tape and apply that next. And I'm just kind of matching it up to that previous layer that we put down. And then I'm going to take some more foam tape and attach that last piece of our poinsettia. And now we have this beautiful 3D layer poinsettia piece on our cover here. And I think it just looks really pretty. Then I'm going to take some of the scrap pieces of that gold flourish trim, and I think I'm going to lay it over some of that poinsettia area and then some additional places on my cover just to give it more of a uniform look. And then I'm just going to take my white glue and glue all of those pieces down. Now, if you have that snowflake trim that came in your subscription box, you could just take and cut the snowflake in half and use little pieces or sections of that around your skate, around some of the floral areas to create a similar effect. Or if you're wanting this gold flourish trim that you see me using here, I do believe I got this at Joann's. So I think you could find something very similar to what I'm using. And now's the time to pick it up because, again, I think it's 70% off. So you can get it at a really good price. Here you see where I have some of this Christmas floral that I found at Hobby Lobby, I think is where I got it. And I just thought that it would look really pretty around some of those areas of the poinsettia. So I'm just taking it and I'm going to cut it to size and then just tuck it underneath our poinsettia piece there. So you can see I'm cutting these in all different sizes. I have some longer pieces, some really short pieces, and I just think it creates a nice texture and kind of that glittered, sparkly effect that kind of ties in with that gold flourish. You know, got the silver and the gold. And you know how I love to add lots of layers to my covers, pages, whatever it is I'm working on. I just think that it creates so much more interest to a page and it takes it to a whole nother level. So, you know, I just love to add in all these beautiful layers. And so I'm going to finish gluing on those glittered floral pieces, and then I think what I'm going to do is just add some of the twine to the laced section of our skate. I want to soften the look of the skate, and then I also want to give it that added dimension. Again, when you add in all of these fine details to your works, or you know, whatever it is that you're working on, it just really, you know, turns it into something that kind of that wow factor, because you have all these layers and all these textures and all that, you know, there's all this attention to detail. And I think that's so important when you're working on, especially the cover, because the cover is kind of the focal point of your journal. And so you really want something that's going to be eye-catching. And I think you do that when you add in all these textures and layers like you see me doing. And now I'm just taking some of those little tiny scrap pieces of trim that I had, and I'm just applying those to sections around the poinsettia and around that glitter floral that I just added. So it's just another added layer. And I think by adding in these little bits of white trim, it creates almost a highlighted effect on our poinsettia and some of those floral areas. And again, you know, if you don't have this exact trim, you could use just whatever scraps of lace trim that you can find to do something similar. And then I found these little gold metal embellishments at the Dollar Tree. They're just these little gold dots. And so I'm just taking and adding one to the center of the poinsettia and then to various areas around my cover, just to add, you know, this little metal embellishment here and there. You could also use the, what is it, diamond wrap, the gold diamond wrap. If you can't find these little gold dots that you see me using, you could also use gold stickles or enamel dots. So there's a lot of different things that you could use in place of what you see me using here. And again, this is just to add in those little extra details that just kind of give it that wow factor. The next thing I'm going to do is take the twine. This came in your trim pack in the subscription box. I think you could find this baker's twine at most places. And so I just cut a piece and then I folded it in half, and I'm going to glue it at that top section over the area that's supposed to be the laced area of the skates. And so I'm just going to kind of have that hang up there on the top. And then I'm going to cut another piece, a smaller piece, and I'm going to attach that so it looks like it's coming down from the boot, and it kind of, you know, is supposed to look like it's connected to the top section there. And so I just cut a piece, folded it, and then glued it down to make it look like, you know, kind of give the illusion like it's just all connected there from that section clear up to the top section of that laced area of the skate. So the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to take some really small pieces of the twine and place it over the laced area of our skates. And this will give the illusion like there's actually lace going through the skates there. And so you can see I'm just cutting a really tiny piece, and then, you know, I apply a little glue over that laced section and then cut small pieces of that twine and lay it over. And you can see that really adds a lot to the skates. I love it. I really like the way that this cover turned out. I think it's very eye-catching. It's got that beautiful winter theme to it. I love it. So I hope you all love it too. And I know we spent a lot of time on the cover, but, you know, again, I think it's the main focal point. The last thing I'm going to do here is just take some of this bling that I got from Hobby Lobby, and it's kind of a iridescent sort of bling, and just place some of those in various areas, again going around the skates. And then I'm going to take the really little tiny pieces there and use some tweezers to apply those to the poinsettia, just to give a little more texture and bling to that area. And then I think our cover will be done. I am so happy with the way that this turned out. I think it turned out just beautifully. I did add in a little bit of these blue, I don't know what you call them. It came from a floral piece. They're kind of like blue little berries. And I just added a few of those in. Now you could take red berries and just paint them blue if you don't have blue ones. You could even use blue beads as well. So I'm just kind of flipping through here and looking at everything. I know one thing I want to do is find something to cover that torn area on my back section there. So I think I might use that tablet. And then one other thing that I wanted to go over is I restrung that journal piece, and I laid over some white fabric to reinforce where, you know, I punched those holes and put the cord through, because my journal piece that was made from poster board, it ripped, and so I had to reinforce it. So I used some fabric and then I just restrung the cord through, and that's why I did not glue down the very top section of the spine. I left that so there was, you know, so I had access to where I could restring that spine of the journal to make those adjustments. And so be sure that you do not glue that part of your cover to that part of your spine. I would also recommend reinforcing that spine with fabric like you see here. And then after you attach the fabric, make sure you mark your holes, because you'll have to go back through and punch the holes through your fabric. You don't want to punch it through the cover part. You just want to punch it through the fabric that's attached to that poster board. I hope that makes sense. And then you can restring your cord through. So what you might want to do is, if you're going to make this, you might want to first reinforce that spine on your poster board before you add in your laced cover. And then, you know, you wouldn't have to go back through and do like I did. Now I'm going to go back through and insert the signatures and assemble everything the way that I want it. Now that I have the cord all tightened and adjusted to the way that I like it, and I have that spine reinforced, I can go back through and finish everything the way that I like it, as far as, you know, my putting in my signatures and the tablets that I got from the Dollar Tree and so forth. Again, if you can't find the same exact small journals and tablets like you saw me get from the Dollar Tree, I'm sure you could go to Target or Hobby Lobby, Joann's. You could use planner items. There's a lot of different things that you could use as substitutes, and you can always change the covers. You know, you could use some of the printed designs and glue those over the covers of whatever tablets you might want to use inside of your travel journal. I just happened to really luck out when I went to the Dollar Tree and find these journals. I found them stashed on an end cap somewhere. They weren't with the office, you know, like in the office area, they have all these planners and tablets and so forth. I found these by an end cap close to the checkout area, and just lucked out and happened to find these that worked so well with my travel journal. And here I'm just kind of showing how I put some of my signatures together. I showed this earlier on in the video, but just again, and you could do it whichever way you like. You can add in more paper doilies, you could add in more pockets. There's so many different things that you could do. You could add in some envelopes, which I plan on doing a little bit later. But again, for this video, I just wanted to show you how to cord and assemble your journal cover, and then how to put your main signature pages together, and then work on the decorative part of your cover. And then we'll do the beaded dangle, and I'll call it good for this video. And then in the next video, I'll take and do some more decorative elements using some of the ephemera, the envelopes, tags, and so forth. So I'm just going to finish inserting my signatures into my travel notebook, and then I'm going to attach that bigger tablet to the back of my travel notebook, again just to cover where I had torn the page when I was using the tape adhesive from the tape gun. I just pulled a little too hard and I ripped the page, and so I need to find a way to cover that up, and you'll see that here shortly as soon as I get done inserting this last signature. I really love how simple these are to make, and I love the they're so versatile that you can add in some tablets, some mini journals, planners, and you could do so many things with these travel notebooks. I love them. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on what you think of the travel notebooks versus just doing a journal. If you think that they're easier to make and you like the simplicity of it, I just would love to hear your thoughts on it. I think I would like to do more of these. I just really had a lot of fun making this, primarily because they are so easy to make. And I can't wait to get into the decorating part of it, where we add in the envelopes and some of the ephemera tags and all of that. So I'm going to add in this last signature here, and then again, I just need to attach that larger notebook to the back area to cover where I had torn the paper. I didn't want to waste the paper. I mean, I could have just reprinted the paper and, redid that back section there, but I didn't want to waste, and so I just thought that I could cover up where I had torn it. So now I have everything assembled the way that I want it, and I'm just going to do a quick flip through here so you can see how I did everything. And again, if you can't find the same exact notebooks that I used that I had gotten from the Dollar Tree, I think that you could find some of these smaller journals and notebooks at Target or Walmart. I'm pretty sure that they have them. And then if you don't like the covers, maybe you go to Dollar Tree and you find some of these smaller journals and tablets, but you don't like the covers, you could always recover them with some of the printed designs. So now that we have this all assembled, the next thing that I'm going to do is just work on the inside cover section of our travel notebook. Now, I had a few pieces of lace that I attached together, and I'm going to show you that here in a second. I do have this back section where I want to apply this tablet as well. But first, I'm going to take this lace, and I just applied 2 pieces of lace, one over the other, and I want to create this side pocket on this inner section of my journal. And I want to have it so the outer section of that lace shows through on the outside of my cover, just to give it more of a finished edge. So I'm going to apply some glue. Again, I'm just going to apply it to where I can create this pocket, this inner pocket, and then make sure that I have it sticking out far enough so that edge of the trim is showing on the other side, and that'll just give it, again, more of a finished edge. And then I think I'm going to take this ephemera piece just as a decorative element. I want to only glue the side of the ephemera piece that's going to attach to the lace, because I don't want the whole thing to be glued down onto that inner section of our cover. And now I'm going to attach this larger tablet to the back, and I think I'm going to call that good for this video. Again, I'll do the decorative elements, the ephemera, the tags, and all of that in another video, and I probably won't get that video done until after Christmas. So this will give you a chance to work on your journal until that time, and you'll be able to get a lot of it done. Again, we'll just have the decorative elements to do in the next video, and you can even go ahead and finish it off the way that you like. Maybe you have some ideas of how you want to decorate it using the ephemera, envelopes, whatever it is that you might want to use. Okay, so now all we have left to do in this video is the dangle. And in your subscription box, there was a bead pack. And so you're going to want to get that out. And the only thing that you'll need that didn't come with your bead pack is a few jump rings. And so I'm just taking some of the beads and putting them through these needles here, and then I'm going to use a jewelry tool to create a loop at the end. And that's one thing you want to keep in mind when you're placing your beads over the needle, is that you leave enough room at the bottom so that you can take your tool and create a loop at the bottom there. And I didn't leave very much, so I kind of struggled, as you'll see, but I was able to get enough of a loop for a jump ring. That was the main thing, and it's not the greatest jewelry artistry there, but you know, it'll do the trick. And then I'm going to take the other needle and do the same thing, apply some beads, and then I will connect both of my beaded needles together with the jump ring to create my dangle. And you know, you don't have to use the beads that came in your bead pack. I think I did try to include beads that I thought would, you know, work well with the kit as far as the colors and everything, but maybe you have some other beads that you want to use, or charms and so forth. So I'm going to create the loop. This one I did much better because I left more room at the bottom there to create that loop. And now I'm just going to attach a jump ring so I can connect them. And there I have my dangle. I do want to attach another jump ring so I can attach my little key charm. There's this little heart key charm that came in your subscription box, and that is in the bead pack as well. So I do want to attach that. And once I have that attached, I'm going to get out some ribbon. I got black, light pink, gold, and then just some of my torn muslin fabric. And I'm going to create a tassel. And I'm just going to take and run the ribbon through the jump ring. And then you'll see how I just kind of take the ribbon, fold it in half, and then I'm going to use pink ribbon to tie around it to create my tassel. And then I'm just going to take the scissors and cut some of the length from the ribbon there to shorten the tassel and call it good. And then I'll be ready to attach it to the spine of my journal. And then after I have my tassel done, I'm going to attach the dangle by using a pearl brad. And I was looking all over for the Tim Holtz, those brads that have the little hanger, but I couldn't find them. So all I did was do a hole punch through the spine and run a beaded brad through to attach the dangle. And I just, took and ran the brad through the top jump ring, and that's how I attached it. So there is our journal. I hope you really enjoyed creating this journal. I'd love to hear if you did work on one with me. And I will see you back really soon with the second part. Again, it probably won't be until after Christmas. I hope you all have a wonderful, Merry, blessed Christmas. And I will catch you back really soon. And again, if you like these videos, be sure to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. And I truly appreciate your support. Thank you so much for watching.